Well, good morning or good afternoon if you're in the beautiful USA, and it is Valentine's Day, a day of love, and I have somebody that I love and adore for her artistic, and just because she's a great person, we're featuring Suzi Kory this morning, and she may even sing for us. You never know. So Suzi's in Canada. I am Bruce, aka the guy in the Bruce shirt, as I'm known on LinkedIn. And also I'm a process whiz, and I do everything related to process improvement. So Kory, Suzi, where are you located? I can never remember.
I'm in Toronto, Canada, where
Toronto.
it's currently snowy and cold, but that's all right. You and I were recently in LA, so we got some sun too.
We did, yes. So a little bit about that. I like to tell people, I'm a process guy through and through, and I think in our meeting you kind of picked up on that we had a really slushy brunch meeting. I ate naughty food and Suzi ate healthy, so it was fun. But yes, we got the opportunity to meet, and so I like to cover the process with people. And again, if you're listening in, we can't tell you're listening in unless you say hi. That's all we need you to do, say hi. If you have a question, you can put it in the comments, and we will go back to them later if possible. And yeah, so I go over with people if you like, the secret sauce of LinkedIn is what I call the 4 C's. And the 4 C's are that, you first of all start a conversation with somebody, and that's exactly how Suzi and I met. I started to comment, and that was my conversation on her posts. Eventually I reached out to her and asked her if she would connect with me. So that's C number 2. So conversations lead to connections. And then furthermore, from there, we were chatting and I was saying what Suzi was doing. And I asked her if she would like to be a live stream guest with me last year. And she said yes. So that was our first collaboration, as it were. And so that's the 3rd C. So conversation leads to a connection that leads to opportunities to collaborate, and we collaborated online. But more importantly, that collaboration will then lead to what I call a community or a micro community. So I am very fortunate that I have almost 300 people in my micro community now from all of the live stream guests that I've hosted. So and then what you'll find is if you then stay operating in your community, and some people might say, if you have the right energy and frequency to be in your community, then amazing things happen. And our great example is, I was in the Philippines, and Suzi we were messaging a little bit about the upcoming stuff that she was doing, and she happened to say, oh, I'm going to be in LA. And it just so happened the day before I flew into LA from Manila. So we were able to meet in person. So that's how that community connection can really foster and grow without you even realizing that that's possible. So so any comments on that process, Suzi? Because I know you're a big process person yourself behind the scenes.
Well, what you said about networks and connecting with people, trying to do anything on your own is not possible, even when we think that we're doing things on our own. But in the end, it is your network of people and connections. And when it's a mutual thing. I think you have to be in it, not just for yourself, but when you and I are connecting, it's like, well, how can I help you? And how can I help you? And there's a beauty in that, because there's more power when you come together with people. There's this like cliche where you have 2 minds come together, it creates a 3rd mind. And I believe that. Right. So when you and I sat down face to face, especially to have a conversation, you all of a sudden get all these ideas. And then we found out that we were connected in other ways, that my mind was thinking of things like tiny homes and all of that, and you'd already been doing it. So there was all these synchronicities, and I think that's incredible. It's not something you would have known otherwise about the other person until you connect on a deeper level, not just superficially.
Yeah, or really had the opportunity to talk about, right? Because who would have thought that yes, I'm a tiny home owner and I'm passionate about that, and I also have an iCamper on top of my car, which is kind of a very micro home when I go camping in it. And, you know, who would have known that you were looking at the possibilities of tiny home ownership yourself? I mean, it's pretty obscure, but we were just rambling on in conversations and it came up. So yeah, you never know where that connectivity is going to come from. And like you said, the opportunity to build more camaraderie inside of your communities, whatever those communities are. And, you know, we all have multiple communities. That's what people don't always recognize. You know, they think about family and friends. Yes, those are micro communities as well. But, you know, there's communities around our passions, our interests, our work, what we do to give back. You know, I have a charitable part of my community, which is with Path to Pits, and that's a completely different community. So yeah, you never know. And by the way, if you are commenting, I just got a message saying that sometimes the comments won't show up for us, so we're not ignoring you. Just the technology. I still haven't fathomed out how StreamYard and LinkedIn don't play friends with each other sometimes. So anyhow, so you've been doing a lot of interesting things. So you recently got to perform in Nashville. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it was a singer-songwriter night, which is actually one of my favorite things to do. I feel it's more intimate. You connect on a deeper level with the audience. So when we're talking about connecting with people and building that community, it builds a community among songwriters. So you get to see other songwriters and collaborate with them in some way. And that could lead to other connections where you end up writing together too. So, and it was interesting for me, you know, obviously I go into it for myself, being happy to perform for other people, my music and sharing that. But I'm also there to check out other artists,
right,
see what else is out there and what they're working on. And it was an interesting lesson in, I think there's a cliche where people think that Nashville has a certain sound. And yes, to some extent it does. But that night there was, I think, 9 of us. So each 3 rounds, and each round there was 3 songwriters. And every single person sounded completely different. You know, we were different genres of country. So yes, it's all country, but so different in what we're writing about, how we perform, our vocal abilities. So it was very interesting. And that's one of the reasons I love doing that.
Right. And actually you raised a really good, what I would call lessons learned, irrespective of the industry or the place that you're in. That, you know, in my younger days, I used to think competition with other people, that's what it was all about. But actually, you know, if you work at a higher level around collaboration, you actually don't need to typically worry about any of your competition, because what you'll find is the competition will actually help you. So
right. And I also think, you know, how do you compete with people when we're all so different? If you just stay authentic to who you are and not be copying other people, because it's when you're copying others that you're actually in competition with them.
Right.
But if you're unique and true to who you are, there's no way you can be compared to anything or anyone. So I think, and you know, that's one aspect of it. But the other thing is, I'm a huge believer in collaboration. That's why I went out there. I went to go and co-write with a lot of people. I was in LA writing with my producer, and then I went to Nashville to write with people there, because I haven't done much of that. I've generally tended to stay on my own, writing my own music. But I thought I really want to give this a try and see what comes out when I collaborate with other people. So it was another learning process for me.
Yeah, and actually you're a shining example. I come from an all-sister family, so people that know me know that. And literally 4 sisters, my mom and my grandmother with an absent father. So I can assure you that I am well aware of the competition that happened between my sisters. And so I am pretty aware of, you know, particularly with up-and-coming female leaders and trendsetters like yourself, Suzi, the tendency to compete, particularly in that genre, is almost irresistible. So I love to help redirect that energy if I can. You know, I'm all about lady leadership, and when I see certain ladies competing with each other, I will actually try and help them realize that, hey, that kind of works in the short term, but if you want longevity, you need to figure out how to, you know, find some common ground and actually collaborate with that other lady leader, and you'll find that you'll both get way further along than if you keep competing with each other. So
Well, and
So that's,
also I feel like you get sidetracked. You know, if your focus becomes the other person, well, then you're
yeah,
not focusing on your own work. So
absolutely.
you need to redirect all that energy into your own work and moving yourself forward, that you can help other people move forward as well. But if I'm just looking over there, I can't be focused over here too, you know? So I think
Yeah,
staying focused on yourself and what you're doing and what you're putting out to the world is so important. Don't worry about everyone else. They're doing what
right.
they're doing, you know?
It is, but there's so much pressure. I mean, you and I chatted a little bit. I would hate to be a teen in today's environment. Forget it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much shiny object syndrome and peer pressure and environmental pressure to be a certain way, look a certain way, sound a certain way, dress a certain. I mean, I just don't know how the up and coming teens and more mature you. I don't know how they deal with the pressure. I mean, it's got to be overwhelming for them. So, yeah, I am just so glad I'm not a teen in today's world.
Well, you know, I have to say, not to throw it back on parents, but they do have a large role to play. And it's not by, telling them what to do. It's how you lead your own life. They kind of watch you. And if you
Right,
can be that example for them, showing a love for yourself and who you are and being genuine to who you are, I think that'll model for them how they can live a life where they're happy and satisfied and not trying to be everything that they see online on social media.
right. And it's amazing because particularly people in my age space, they don't think people are paying attention.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I found that the observational power, because of the interaction with social media, the younger people's observational power is way, way more advanced than mine at that age. So yeah, they may not say something or they may not react, but they sure pick up on very subtle areas. So if you're saying one thing and doing another thing, they may not even call you out on it, but they'll notice. And
Yeah.
their observational powers are unbelievable. So yeah, so if you think you're getting away with it, if you're in the baby boomer category, you're not. They will call you out eventually. They Once they get confident enough to call you out, they'll call you out. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's fun. All right. So again, if you are commenting, particularly on LinkedIn, unfortunately, you can't see the comments. It's also being streamed over to YouTube. So that's always my backup plan with StreamYard. It is recorded on StreamYard, but I also have a YouTube channel. So you will end up on my live YouTube channel again, Susie, which is kind of cool because particularly with the threat of TikTok going away, YouTube made some interesting channel improvements. So they actually separate now all of the live streams into their own page. So it's kind of cool. So, talk about, collaborating through competition, right? They saw
Yeah.
the opportunity where they thought TikTok might go away, and they did some pretty cool enhancements to, YouTube Studio. Not that I'm an expert. I just have met it as a place for all my live stream guests to go back to if they want and check out other people that I might have interviewed as well. So I use it as like a repository of like a history, it's where the legacy of all the live streams lives. So it's kind of
Mhm.
cool. All right. So what was a lesson learned from Nashville? And also, I asked you if you might sing a little snippet from one of your favorite songs or one of your new creations. So, which order do you want to do that in? Do you want to sing for us a little bit and for Valentine's Day and send everyone love, or you want to tell us about a few more lessons learned from your Nashville? And of course, you didn't only go to LA to collaborate. I'm going to call you out. You also went to go walk in Malibu Beach. So, come on.
Yeah, I know we're kind of going off on a tangent here, but I absolutely love Malibu, and seeing what happened there was just so many
Devastating.
lessons there too. And this might sound kind of controversial, but my take on it is that there's some kind of renewal that happens in life when things like this happen,
Correct.
and I always look at the positive, and
Yeah.
maybe people can say, well, you're not the one going through it. So, of course you can comment something like this, but I think no human being on this earth goes through life without going through a similar thing where you're starting from zero. We've all been through it. I've been through it. And you come out stronger than ever. And actually, if anything else, it gives you clarity. Because when you have things taken away from you, everything, you realize a number of things. One of them is that you can actually live without a lot of these things.
Correct.
They're just material things, but who you are, that can't be taken away until you're gone from this earth. So as long as you're alive, everything else that you have, your home, your belongings, everything else, they're just these external things, and they don't really contribute truly to who you are. So, you know, I was talking to a lot of people while I was there. I was hanging out in coffee shops. I had dinner in Melbourne.
I saw.
Yeah, and it was one of them was very interesting. But you know, I ended up chatting with a lot of residents in the area, and they all kind of share that sentiment. And it built a sense of community where everybody's trying to help everybody. So those homes who didn't get their home burned, the people, they were opening their homes to have other people come stay with them, and then they connected with people in a beautiful way. So, you know, that's where I think that you always have to look at the positive that comes out of everything. So that was an interesting thing for me to go there and see what's really going on and see that there's actually a lot of wonderful things happening.
Yeah, I mean, talk about, you know, an awareness, and also, you know, you said something about, you know, who you already are, but, you know, don't lose sight of the fact of who you want to be. So, you know, being in the moment and being intentional around who you want to be. And, you know, you and I talked about that a little bit. You know, I use a action word for each year for my life. And my word this year is to evolve. Well, hello. Sorry, I need to. Oh, my goodness. Russ Hedge and Kiki. So Kiki is a pianist. You definitely need to figure out how to chat with Kiki, Susie. She's up in
yes, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's in way northeastern USA. Russ and I go way back, so thank you, Russ, for hopping on. And actually, my daily mantra, which I started in late 2022, I actually owe to Russ, and we were chatting. Actually, I was in Australia, and Russ was back in the US, and he had just discovered some new challenges in his life, and we were chatting, and that's where my mantra is: I choose to live life young. And I added the daily on behalf of our conversation with Russ, and I said to him, hey, do you mind if I keep doing that? And that's kind of talk about a community bond that we have. Russ is also an amazing live stream host himself, so nudge Russ if you want a really good guest. I think Susie might be up for it. Right, Susie?
Absolutely, always ready.
Yeah, you're welcome, Russ. It's good. You know, I said to Susie, hey, how do you feel about quick Valentine's Day live? And she stepped up. She's even wearing red for all the people. Look at that. she's such a beautiful person inside.
Thank you very much. Likewise, Bruce.
Oh, well, we try. Actually, you know, the people like Kiki and Russ, I mean, you know, I was talking about being called out. They've called me out at times in a very nice way and redirected some of my thinking sometimes. So, yeah, I'm blessed. And actually, you know, Russ and I have been both co-hosts as a live stream host, but we've also been guests for each other. So talk about, you know, the collaboration, not competition. You know, I mean, Russ is all about collaboration. And again, I got to meet him in person up in the Portland area, you know, on the back of going to an IndyCar race, of course. So double my passion, meeting Russ and going to an IndyCar race. And I also met Devin James up there on the same trip. So we'll come back to Devin because he does my little outtake. So yeah. Oh, Kiki saying I support you 100%. Hey, maybe Kiki, that's the title of a new song. So Kiki is a pianist composer. So how about that, Kiki? Why don't you? I support you 100%. What a great song title. All right, Susie. So you want to talk about more time that you had in Nashville? You want to sing a little snippet from your new favorite song? Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, on the spot. No, I'm all right. You know, I think we had talked about the fact that I might do a little bit of my love song because I don't have many love songs. I know country is supposed to be all about love, but I tend to write, my message in music is always about positivity and just uplifting people. I have a song coming out in about 11 days called 1975. It's kind of homage to the greats in the 70s, one of my favorite musical decades. And it kind of references bands like Lynyrd Skynyrd and Led Zeppelin.
Right.
And, talk about serendipity. I found it funny that there's a reason why I chose February 25th to release this song. And I kind of put it out there on social media, asking people to try and figure out why do you think I chose this date? And it's funny because I'm not going to put it out why right now because I got to give away a prize or something. But what it references is a band that actually just had a movie coming out about them, which I had no idea. I didn't know that this band has a movie coming out. It just got released, I think, on February 6th or 7th. So awesome. It's all funny how it ties in to the song coming out on the day that involves this band. So
right. Well, if we have time, I have a band story I want to go back to. I was telling somebody actually a couple of weeks ago when I went to the Guitar Center. Anyway, we'll come back to that. So you want to sing for us?
Sure. This is a little bit of Settle of the Dust. It's kind of the chorus of the song. Because I know you asked me to perform. I have a piano here. I have guitars in the background. I do play both, not well enough to play in front of people, but well enough to write my songs. I haven't gained the confidence yet, so one day I will. But I don't mind singing a cappella, so this is a little bit.
Well, maybe Kiki will play for you one day. How about that?
Kiki. Or you could do it right now. So this is a song called "Settle of the Dust," and it's about a traveling musician who. When you know too much about their lives and they think you're their friend, so they tell you everything, but then they don't know that you're actually in lust with them. So the song goes, you fool, can't you see? The only one that's gonna set your heart free is standing right there next to you, watching all the girls that come through. Knows it's only just a matter of time, waiting her turn in an endless line. 'Cause you're the only one that she wants. Visions of you in her heart that you haunt. So take your sweet little time if you must. Just know she'll be waiting there with the settle of the dust.
Oh my!
Settle of the dust.
Oh my God, that is so cool!
Oh, thank you.
I got goosebumps and I'm crying too. Oh my God!
Wow! I don't want to make you cry.
No, crying in. I can relate. I can relate to that song. I'm not going to tell people why right now, but I can relate to that song.
Well, I was always around this person, and I'm just like, he would talk about not being able to find love and being with all these different women because just kind of fill empty spaces. I'm like, but I'm right here. How do you not see me? You don't want to tell the person, but you're just like, I had to put it out in a song because I'm like, I don't get it. How can you have someone that you can see truly loves you, but you can't see it?
Well, they say love is blind.
Right? Tell me about
it. You'll second that. That is amazing. And I also want to say hi to Maria de la Cruz. Thank you. Maria's a relatively new contact, and I sent her the invitation to hop on, and we'll see. Maybe she'll become a guest for me. We'll see. And of course, Kiki, you're more than welcome to come back on and play as well. So we did that a long time ago, a quick live stream with Kiki, but she's come on leaps and bounds in her composing. And again, Kiki, feel free to drop your channels that you do your recording and outlets on for the music industry. So please do that. Music is all about feelings. Yeah. And actually, I was going to say, you talked about country. I thought country was all about storytelling, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's so funny what Kiki just said there with music is all about feelings. I'm on TikTok and, as an artist, but I also watch a lot of videos. I don't really do this kind of scrolling, looking at other people, but I look at things about music marketing and kind of the business side of it. And so I saw this one person say that, people kind of miss the target when they're writing songs just to try and write a popular song, when in fact, the thing that you really want to focus on is creating emotions for people. So if you can write something that touches people on a deep level, you've got them. And this song, you know, although I just sang it a cappella without all the music, it came from a genuine place of hurt. You know, I sat there and I'm just like, I'm just going to write exactly what I feel right now. And I was crying as I wrote it, and I'm not kidding you. So when you write something like that, because you feel it so deeply, that's the way that it's going to touch other people, you know? And that's why I believe in, for myself, I write my own songs. I've had people reach out and say, hey, you know, here's a song for you if you want to have a listen. I will listen to people's music, but to me, it doesn't mean anything. And I'm not putting down the person. All I'm saying is if it doesn't come from inside of me, because I felt that, and that's what I'm trying to show other people, then I'm just selling you something that, you know, sounds nice, but the emotion is not really behind it, you know, because I don't get it. So I get some artists who interpret, like someone like Celine Dion. She hasn't written any of the songs, but she can truly live the song so that she emotes it in a way that she gets people to feel it because she's actually feeling it. I'm not there yet. For me, I need to write the song myself because I need to know what the meaning is behind it. And that's how I'm able to reach people.
I think you underestimate yourself. What I just saw right there was you are a core, C-O-R-E, creative.
Oh, thank you.
And that might be another great title for your next song. You know, it comes from your core, and that's why it moves everybody. I'm sure I'm not the only one with a few tears in my eyes. You know, you can tell it's you, Suzi, and that comes all the way from your core. No doubt.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now you're going to tell a band story.
Well, we have 4 minutes if you want to, or if you can overrun a few minutes, then we can do that. But
sure.
Which do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to start with a quick story real fast. Okay. Something interesting that happened in Los Angeles, just because we talk about, I'm a big believer in manifestation. We're talking about bands and stuff. So I have a song called 1975 coming out. I'm sitting in a coffee shop in Los Angeles near Beverly Glen. It's like near Beverly Hills. And I'm writing down ideas about what to do for social media content and so on. And I'm thinking about bands from the 70s, bands like Aerosmith, Leonard Skinner, Led Zeppelin, Kiss. Yeah. And then literally a few minutes later, Paul Stanley of Kiss walked in. I was like, okay, I know that I can manifest stuff, but this is nuts. You know, it's crazy. So anyhow, that's my little band story. I wanted to share that because it relates to the song I have coming out. We're ready for your story.
Yeah, so I've decided to get my Johnny Pierce 200 guitar restrung. So I took it to Guitar Center, and while I was there, I signed up to do some lessons to get going again. And I actually met the instructor I'm going to start with this Sunday, and I'm going to do for a weekly session with him. And we were just chatting about things, and he's a really young guy, but unbelievable guitarist. And he's playing something, and I said to him, hey, and he said, well, you know, how did you get the Johnny Pierce 200? And I used to work in a musical instrument store. I was the Saturday boy, so I used to clean all the musical instruments. But more importantly, being the Saturday boy is all the local bands that came in. I used to be able to go roadie for them pretty much any Saturday night I wanted, because they were always wanting free labor to set the gear up. But
yeah.
So one night this band came in, and they were getting a lot of vibe. And anyway, so cut a long story short, they were called Birth. So talk about birth of new beginnings, right? And
yeah,
I was telling this guy, hey, you know, it's a long time since I played, and I feel like, you know, I want to rebirth my interest in playing the guitar again. And so, hey, I said to him, you're not going to believe this, but so Birth used to be the opening band for The Who before The Who became famous.
No way.
Yes way. So I got to go help set Birth up as the opening warm-up act for The Who, and it was unbelievable. I mean, it was in a large pavilion. They used to have, you know, bands playing what they called pavilions then, and it was always like there weren't really any tickets. And the way that The Who used to get people to come see them is they were like 3 times louder than anybody else. So literally you could be half a mile away from this pavilion and you could still hear them playing. And I I have never experienced anything so moving when you're standing in the side, you know, in the side of the stage, and you just help get their gear off. The Who came on, and it was so loud that it actually made my belly shake. And literally, this old pavilion, the roof was shaking. I mean, it was shaking so bad that all this dust and all this, everything was dropping out of the roof, which just added to the ambience. So everyone in the pavilion thought it was part of the act.
Wow.
It was friggin' believable. So yeah, so I got to see Who before they got famous, and it was just one of those never forgettable moments, you know. So unbelievable. So
that's pretty incredible.
yeah, it was. Yeah, and then of course, you know, a couple of years later, they went on to be super cool and super present, but Birth hung around. They used to come to the store every Saturday, and we used to chit chat, and I used to get their stuff and, you know, clean their stuff and whatever. Anyway, so anyway, so I want to be respectful. Anyway, passing thoughts. Yes, talk about how people can see all your latest stuff.
Yeah, so if you go to my website, I think it's right underneath here, SuziKory.com. That's probably the best way. I've got all my music videos, all my music up there, some photos, my bio. It's quite an interesting story, so you might want to read about that. You know, born in Beirut, which is not very conventional, of a country artist, but raised in Toronto. And then you can visit my handle on all social media, Suzi Kory. So you can find me anywhere.
So when you're ready for a brand story, this is Devin James. He lives in Portland. And actually, I got to float around on the Columbia River at a pop-up deck bar in the summer of 2023. And after that, he wrote me a little brand story. So I want to play that. And then just for fun, I want to show you how crazy I can be.
You're frustrated that you have no time and you just hate it. You lost your mind. You're running around the kids and the spouse, and the business that was once your passion has got you burnt out. So, consult with Bruce, the guy in the blue shirt. He'll help you find the truth so that you can do you first. See, it's all about simpler, faster, better, so you can save massive amounts of time and money, instead of longing for the day where you can finally kick your feet up. Do yourself a favor. Call up Bruce. He'll tell you about process cleanup.
Wow.
Did you see yourself on Malibu Beach there at the end?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. So another fast forward when I wanted to get people to understand a little bit about how silly, but the community I'm building in 3D, we came up with this, and then we'll wrap up. So watch out. We ended up creating 3 spaces, which people are going to be able to see. And we ended up with spaces called Connect and Shop and Shop and Play.
You don't want to miss out, that's all I'm gonna say. The right place, the right time, the right tech. In the omniverse is where I place my bet.
Connect and Shop and Shop and Play and Play.
Imagine having Google stocks back in the day when you got up on the ground floor. Pennies to the dollar, this is opportunity calling, so you better yell holla. Holla, holla.
Who would have thought?
Right? I think that should be up for a Grammy.
No, Devin will be up for the Grammy. Anyway, that's the 3D space that now has a whole spot for musical artists and musicians. So after you finish writing your song, I want to get you to come back and hop in there. And that's why I introduced you to Richard Chung. So Richard is doing some amazing things for the upcoming 2026 FIFA games, host city in Kansas City, Kansas. So that's what Richard's all about. So that was my, thinking about how I can link my micro communities together between my 3D space, which is behind me, which is going to be renamed The Clinic. So yeah, I met Richard through the Omniverse City and all the amazing things he's doing. He's very creative. So you're going to love him.
Well, I look forward to it, and I thank you for making that connection.
You're welcome. All right. So thanks, Suzi. I know you have to run off to one of your commitment appointments every day. So have fun in the restaurant. Are you singing tonight for everyone?
No, not tonight, but spreading a lot of love.
Spreading a lot of love. Okay, but you have a concert coming up on, is it the 28th?
The 24th. Yeah, I'm doing
24th.
something here.
Okay.
It's kind of a battle of the bands, so it's a fun time.
Okay, Battle of the Bands. And where will that be? Toronto?
That's going to be in Burlington, which is about not even like 25 minutes from Toronto, west of Toronto.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so if you're on the US side and you're close to Burlington or Toronto, hop over the border, go see Suzi, and then you can drop the link in here in the comments after, Suzi, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. You are such a core creative. That's how I'm going to remember you now. Core creative girl.
Well, thank you so much. Happy Valentine's to you and to everyone. And thank you to everyone who joined it.
Yeah. And thanks for Kiki, Russ, Maria, and anyone else that's was watching. They were too shy to say hi. Don't be shy next time, right? All right. Hang for a minute, Suzi. Bye, everyone. Thank you. You want to sing us out, Suzi?
I don't know. What would you like to hear?
Just part of the chorus again. Go on. Go for it.
Okay, maybe we'll do another song. This is a song I've written, but it hasn't been recorded. Okay, so you're
Oh, okay. All right, go.
It's called Me, Myself, and I.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I struggle with that.
Well, yeah, it's about getting stuff done by yourself, just getting it done.
Right.
And everyone could use a little bit of help, but nothing does it better than me, myself, and I. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the lyrics. You know what? It's okay.
Don't worry. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. Right? That's it. Catch line. Killer catch line.
Well, the chorus goes, it's just me, myself, and I. Oh, it's me, myself, and I. You're looking for another, but you're never gonna see anybody else, 'cause it's just me. Yeah, it's me, myself, and I.
Beautiful. What a great way to finish. Thank you, Suzi. You're a joy. Thank you. All right. Just hang for a minute. Thanks, everyone. And if you enjoyed Suzi, go check her out. More importantly, go buy her stuff. Thanks, Suzi. Take care, everybody. Bye.